war on birds? You've got to be yoking. G'day, mates. Let's talk about a time when Australia declared war. Not on another country, mind you. Not on a fearsome band of pirates. Nope, Australia, in all its wisdom, decided to go to war with birds. Specifically emus. Big, flightless, feathered jerks. You might think I'm pulling your leg like some dodgy didgeridoo salesman. But this, my friends, is a true story. It's a story so ridiculous, so utterly bonkers, that it could only come from the land of venomous spiders and drop bears. Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the wacky world of the Great Emu War of 1932. Picture this. It's the 1930s. The Great Depression has the world in a chokehold, and Australia is feeling the squeeze. Farmers, the backbone of the country, are struggling to make ends meet. Crops are failing. Money is tighter than a kangaroo's pouch. And then, as if things couldn't get any worse, along come the emus. Now, emus are native to Australia. They're big birds, standing almost 6 feet tall and weighing over 100 pounds. They're also bloody relentless when it comes to finding food. And in the 1930s, with their natural habitat drying up, these feathered fiends decided to go on a little road trip. Destination? Farmland. Lots and lots of farmland. Tens of thousands of emus descended upon the farmers' fields like a feathered plague. They devoured crops, trampled fences, and generally made themselves a nuisance. The farmers, already at their wits' end, were desperate. They'd fought through droughts, pests, and plummeting wheat prices, but these emus, this was the last straw. The farmers appealed to the government for help, and the government, in a move that can only be described as what could possibly go wrong, decided to send in the troops. Yes, you heard that right. The Australian government declared war on emus. Now, you might expect that a country that was once a penal colony would know a thing or two about fighting. But when it came to taking on emus, the Australian military was about as effective as a chocolate teapot. Don't get me wrong, they had guns. Big, scary machine guns mounted on the back of trucks. They even had a seasoned military leader, Major G.P.W. Meredith, a man who I'm sure had faced down his fair share of dangers in his time. But emus, you see, are not your typical enemy combatants. They're fast, they're agile, and they have this uncanny ability to absorb bullets like they're made of rubber. Section 5. Epic Fails and Bird Brains, the war's greatest hits. The Great Emu War was a comedy of errors from start to finish. The soldiers, bless their hearts, tried everything to defeat the feathered foe. They set up ambushes, only to have the emus scatter in all directions before they could even get a shot off. They chased the birds across the countryside in their trucks, kicking up more dust than casualties. They even tried to mow the emus down with machine guns, which, as you can imagine, was about as successful as trying to herd cats. The emus, meanwhile, were loving every minute of it. They seemed to view the whole thing as a game, dodging bullets, and generally outsmarting the humans at every turn. Section 6. You can't make this up headlines from the front. The Australian public, as you can imagine, was gobsmacked. Here they were in the midst of an economic crisis, and the government was busy waging war on birds. The media had a field day with headlines like "Feathered Foe Outwits Army" and "Emus Still Hold the Battlefield." One politician even went so far as to call the emus the Australian equivalent of the Prussian Guard. The whole thing was so absurd, so utterly ridiculous, that it's a wonder anyone took it seriously at all. Section 7, and the winner is... Spoiler alert, it's not Australia. So after weeks of chaotic skirmishes and embarrassing defeats, the Australian government finally admitted defeat. The emus, victorious and probably still a little peckish, returned to their usual haunts, leaving behind a trail of broken fences, empty ammunition shells, and bruised human egos. The final score: emus 1, Australia 0. Section 8. Fences, memes, and lessons learned, maybe. In the aftermath of the Great Emu War, the Australian government did the only sensible thing they could think of. They built a bloody big fence. And as for the war itself, well, it's gone down in history as one of the most bizarre and hilarious military campaigns of all time. It's a story that's been told and retold, becoming a meme-worthy symbol of human hubris and the indomitable spirit of the emu. So the next time you're feeling down on your luck, remember the Great Emu War. Remember that even in the face of overwhelming odds, even when you're outgunned and outmaneuvered by giant flightless birds, there's always a good laugh to be had.